Rangers in the World Series, Michigan's cheating, and the NBA season starts tonight. Welcome to episode 41 of the Final Seconds.
Posted in front of the tribe, selling dope till the sun come down. Take a right off the map.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 41 of the Final Seconds podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Aiden, I see you're a little bit of a Bulls fan. When did that become a new thing, bandwagon?
NBA season starting. We play tomorrow. We play the Thunder.
I should put mine on. I actually got one. I got a Bulls jersey this past off season.
Yeah. Nice.
A black
Starting
one.
to represent.
It says Dwayne
Oh,
Wade on
black.
it, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Dwayne Wade. He played there for a season, so it counts.
Just a season.
All right, hopping right into what were you saying?
No, I just said just a season.
Just a season. Hopping right into the MLB, Diamondbacks versus Phillies. 3-3 on the series. Could you tell me what the score of that game is right now?
3-2 Diamondbacks. Top of the seventh.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Okay. 3-2 Diamondbacks. Could you tell me the inning and whatnot?
Top of the seventh.
Top of the seventh.
1 out.
Who do you think wins this game, knowing what we know?
I think D-backs. They're killing the Phillies pitchers right now. They have like 9 hits. They just keep getting guys on bases. The Phillies had a huge opportunity in, I want to say, the 4th inning. They had bases loaded with 1 out, and they only brought home 1 run in that inning. So
Killer. Gonna come back to bite. I hope the Diamondbacks win, but I think the Phillies they're so good in the postseason. I think they come back and win this game.
yeah, there's still 3 innings left, so it's possible.
Exactly. What about you? What are you thinking?
I think the D-backs, I think they're gonna hold on.
Both
the
solid
Phillies.
squads, though. I wouldn't be mad if either team went to the
Well,
series.
If the Phillies in the next 3 innings can hit home runs, they're gonna easily win. But that's the problem tonight.
Yeah.
They've only hit 1 home run as a solo shot. They win by hitting home runs, like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce
Home run.
Harper, Stott. You got all these guys that hit home runs. And that's how you win postseason games, is the long ball. So if they heat up on the bats, they'll win.
Totally agree. Rangers defeat the Astros 4-3 in the series to move on to the World Series. What were your thoughts on this series?
Really, really good series. It lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
Last night was a little disappointing just because it wasn't that close. The Rangers definitely wanted the Game 7 and wanted to bring the World Series back to Texas or Dallas. But I'm happy for the Rangers because they've never won a World Series. I'm happy that the Astros are out because they won it last year. But it was a really good series. No team ever won at home the whole series. Every team won on the road, which was very different. So but it was a good series.
And
what are your thoughts?
We talked about that last week, how the Rangers were able to win the first 2 on the road and how they have 2 at home now. And we thought they were gonna
They had 3 at home.
be able to do something with that. But I mean, they almost sold the series.
Yeah, so they have home field advantage in the World Series, so they have to win at home if they want to win the World Series.
Yeah.
It's I don't know why you're not winning at home. It doesn't make sense. Especially like in Houston, Game 6 and Game 7. Well, so Game 5 was like, it was the craziest game ever. A bunch of ejections and all that happened. And then you go back to Houston, Game 6 and Game 7, and every time Garcia goes up to bat in Houston, they're booing him, and he struggled Game 6, and then right at the end, he hit a huge home run, and that silenced everyone the rest of Game 6. And then Game 7, he was 3 for 3 for like the first 6 innings, and that I think he went 3 for 4, maybe 3 for 5.
Yeah. I think they'll be able to. It was so close that it doesn't even make that much of a difference, I don't think, in that series. I mean, obviously, there's a little... You can tell the difference between your home field and away field. But I don't think it made as much of a difference, and I think they'll be able to win at home this World Series.
Yeah.
College football. A little recap from this past week. The biggest, best, and most honest game of the week. Number 3, Ohio State defeats number 7, Penn State, 20-12. Is Penn State's quarterback Drew Aller overrated? I would just like to say this. 2 things. I'll start. I want to start this off. Ohio State, the score doesn't really represent what actually happened. Ohio State was allowed Penn State to score with like a minute left. Going into that drive, they only had 6 total yards of offense the entire second half. So we dominated them the second half, and then they scored with like a minute left. I do think there were some crucial calls that went in our favor that impacted the game. There was a strip sack returned for a touchdown by Penn State, and there was a holding call that on a defensive holding call, they held Marvin Harrison Jr., which it was the right call. They definitely held him. But that was a crucial play that brought back a score to take the lead and a lot of momentum. And then that drive ended up having like 2. There was another penalty. I believe it was pass interference. And then there was a roughing the passer call. The roughing the passer call, I don't agree with. It was a bad call. It was a cheap, like, he didn't do anything. Didn't deserve that. I still don't think it would have mattered. I believe we scored. I know we scored. Did we score a touchdown on that drive, or did we get stuffed on the goal line?
The one where the roughing the passer,
the penalty one. That were they
on Marv?
Yeah.
Yeah, we scored.
Okay, we did score a touchdown.
Yep.
Because that's where, what's his name, our quarterback got hurt. Our backup.
Oh, no, that was the next drive.
That was the next drive? Okay.
We drove it down, and we got to the goal line, and then we got stopped. And that's when Devin Brown got injured.
Yeah. Drew Aller, I do think, is a little overrated. Penn State hadn't played anybody before us. I think he's a freshman, I believe, correct?
Yep.
So I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I just think he's a solid quarterback, and I'm not putting anything against him. He played a really tough Ohio State team, only lost by 8, only lost by a score, which is tricky to do. But I think that's his first real test he's had as a freshman. So I think he'll progress and he'll be a good quarterback. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I just think he's young.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Buckeyes defense played, I mean, obviously you said really well. Penn State kicked a field goal the first 2 drives, and then that was it. They couldn't do anything the second half. They couldn't move the ball the rest of the first half of those first 2 drives. But offensively for the Buckeyes, they need to clean up red zone. I think we were 1 for 4. No, 2 for 5 in the red zone on Saturday. We only scored 2 touchdowns. We kicked 2 field goals, and we had that stop on the 4th down at the goal line. The goal line stop, we got to be able to run the ball. Like, it's a yard, maybe even half a yard. We got to be able to run the ball. Like, that should be an easy play to run the ball or get a QB sneak to score a touchdown. Like, it shouldn't take us 4 downs to score a touchdown from the 1-yard line.
No. It happened in the Notre Dame game, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened in the Notre Dame game, too. And then,
it's going to be crucial.
Yeah, we can get the ball down the field. Like that's not been a
Yeah.
problem, but we get to the red zone, we just stall out, and it's very frustrating.
I do think it is a little bit on the play caller. I think we drive the ball, we go tempo down the field, and then we get to the red zone and we just slow down. Like we completely slow down the pace and we try to like regroup, but I think it kind of throws us off, gives the defense enough time to adjust. And I don't think Kyle McCord's that good of a quarterback, or we don't have that good of an offensive line to be able to do that kind of stuff. I think we have to keep moving quick and we can score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I've.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, because when we went down to score, when we got stopped on the goal line, it was right at the end of, or right towards the end of was it the first quarter, I think? Or was it third quarter? Third quarter. Yeah, right at the end of the third quarter. It was the third quarter. And Penn State had an injury, and I think it was first and goal, like at the 8, for us. And Penn State got an injury, and it was a long injury. It was like 5-minute wait. So like everyone caught their breath, and then Penn State comes out and stopped us. So I do agree, like we got to keep the tempo up. And the play calling isn't great. Like I feel like we ran the ball a lot on Saturday, which I don't mind. We got to like establish a running game, and I think our O-line needs to step up a lot. I know they're younger, but they need to step up. And like we can pass. We got receivers that can make plays and get off coverage. Like that's not a problem. But we got to be able to run the ball. And I like Ryan Day like trying to like enforce that. Like he was constantly trying to run the ball, but like at the same time, like we're like it was like 10-6, and we're running the ball when we should be passing because we're not like in like a situation like if we were up 20-6. Like in the third or fourth quarter, then run the ball, take time off, see if we can just pound it down their throat, see if the defense is giving in. But that wasn't really the case on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. I think we didn't have our starting running back, and we need to use Mayan Williams more, is my opinion on that.
Yeah,
okay, I'm good. Michigan cheating scandal. So, if you don't know, let me look up his name real quick.
I think it starts with a C.
Connor Stalions.
Yeah, Connor.
A Michigan low-level analysis has been suspended by the team while there is an investigation going on because he has bought over 30 tickets, I believe, under his name to football games, which is illegal. They made that rule in the 1990s that you can't go steal other people's signs because teams, smaller schools couldn't afford to do that. So they made the rule that nobody can do it to level the playing fields. It's been a rule forever, and this low-level analysis has gone to multiple SEC games, over 30 football games, and presumably has been stealing their signs. There is a clip going viral right now of him standing next to the defensive coordinator during last year's Ohio State versus Michigan game, and there was an audible being called, and everybody's looking at Ohio State's looking at the sidelines, and all the Michigan guys on the bench start looking at our sidelines, and this low-level analysis is standing next to the defensive coordinator and talks to him as soon as the play's giving, presumably decoding our signs. There's no reason for him to be talking to him or sitting next to him. He has no influence in this. Like, he's not calling any plays or anything. And then you see the entire Michigan bench pointing up to the sky. So, there's an investigation going on that Michigan has been stealing signs. And I think Michigan is guilty because I hate Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel like a lot of we've talked about this before the pod, but like a lot of schools right now are pissed at the Wolverines. I feel like um Ohio State fans, we saw, we were talking about SEC fans,
Yeah.
like I think we were talking before, like the Wolverines are probably stealing signs from like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, like maybe like Oregon this year and Texas, like teams that are going to be in the playoffs or they're playing on their season, Penn State, teams that are good. But yeah, it's I feel like
And
the Wolverines like have always had like earlier this season, Jim Harbaugh got suspended for like the allegations of like 2020 and like recruiting and stuff, and now like this is going on. So I feel like the Wolverines, they've already lost 2 5-stars um from this
because of
incident.
this. Yeah.
And then like I don't I don't know. I obviously all the coaches know that, everyone on the team knows that it was happening. I don't know if the athletic director knew it was happening. I would love to know that, but
Yeah. Jim Harbaugh was trying to say that he had no idea what was going on. But this clip, he's clearly standing next to the defensive coordinator. He's talking to him. There's no way this Jim Harbaugh has no idea that one of their coaches, staff members on the team, has gone to over 30 non-Michigan football games.
yeah, well, there's a rule or like a law in like college football that the head coach has to know like about everything that's going on in the program. Like, so he knows about it. He knows everything that's going on in the program. So he
Yeah.
obviously knows about it. He's playing dumb.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go behind his back. Like, analysis wouldn't go behind his back to steal signals. Like, that doesn't sound believable.
And then if you're a defensive coordinator, like, you're not like standing next to him for no reason. There's a reason they're standing next to each other. You don't let this guy in the biggest game of the year stand next to you and talk to you. He has nothing to do with that play. There should be no reason they're talking him to plays when he is trying to make a play call for, again, one of the largest plays, in the biggest game of the season for them. Unless he has influence.
It'll be curious to see like how the rest of the investigation plans out. I feel like it's going to be a long investigation. Like, I feel like things won't be implanted this year. Like, but I think I'm curious like who's going to be suspended or what's going to happen to the program.
Yeah. And this is just starting, so yeah, like you said, it'll be a while.
But it's not a good look for the program.
No, terrible look for the program, and for Jim Harbaugh, especially like we said, getting suspended in March or in the beginning of the season because he was talking with a recruit in the debt period. Yeah, he's having a rough season.
Yeah.
Number 11 Alabama defeats number 17 Tennessee 34-20. What happened to Tennessee in the second half? Alabama's stealing signs too. Joking. They made some great halftime adjustments because they put up 27 unanswered points in the second half, right?
Yep. Tennessee didn't do anything in the second half.
No.
They started out hot because I only watched the second half because I went to the Buckeye game, so I walked back and I saw Tennessee was up at halftime. I was like shocked because I was like, no way Tennessee's gonna upset them again. And yeah, Bama came out firing the second half. Milroe played a lot better in the second half. Looked a lot more comfortable passing the ball.
Milton struggled.
And Milton struggled the second half. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it was like play calling. He is. At least he transferred.
At least he transferred. That's true. Yeah. Struggled. I don't know. Alabama does not look good this year. Tennessee doesn't look great this year.
I don't want to count out Alabama. I know they're one loss team. The SEC's competitive. They're going to be close games. But I don't want to count them out. I could see them in the SEC championship right now playing Georgia. I could see them beating them. Really.
That's bold. 14 Utah defeats 18 USC 34-32. Caleb Williams still can't beat the Utes. This is his third career loss to Utah. He played them once in the regular season last year and lost by a point. And then he was injured and lost in the Pac-12 championship.
And
now,
that if he would have won that game, that would have sent him to the college football playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah. And now he loses yet again. What is it with Utah?
Well, did you see their quarterback? Oh man, I can't remember the story. I remember the announcers telling me he was replacing Utah's starting quarterback, and he's out for the season right now.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was his first or second start, and he played really well. He made a lot of plays, running the ball. He made a lot of plays. Like he was out there to help his team get a win. He was prepared. He looked really good out there. USC's defense has not been like USC. Like they need to invest in a little bit of defense. Like when you bring up USC, you immediately think Caleb Williams. Like you immediately go to the offensive side. You know, you expect Caleb Williams to put up like 40 on every team. Well, he can, but your defense has to step up a little bit. I mean, they've let up quite a bit of points this year.
These past 2 games for Caleb Williams have been rough. And if Caleb Williams doesn't have a perfect game, then he can't beat your whole team.
When Caleb Williams, they were up in the fourth quarter, and Utah gets the ball back for a game-winning drive, and they go right down and kick it like a 30-yard field goal. It was a chip shot, or maybe it might have been like a 25-yard field goal. It was a chip shot, which Utah, they did a great job getting down the field, but like that's on your defense. I mean, you guys had the lead. Caleb led you down and got you the lead, so your defense has got to step up.
Yeah. Games of this upcoming week: 8 Oregon versus 13 Utah. Speaking of, can Utah pull off the big upset? I really hope so, but I don't believe so. Oregon has looked really good, and I think Oregon wins.
It's at Utah. Oregon had that heartbreaker a couple weeks ago at Washington.
Yeah. Bo Nix looked stellar, though.
No, I like Oregon. I think it's going to be, if Utah wants to win this game, I think they're going to have to keep up with Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix he's going to score most of his drives. He's really good protecting the ball. So
Oregon has a lot better defense, though. So that's going to be
that's I think if Utah wants to win, they have to keep up offensively. If they can't, Bo Nix is going to, pour it on them.
I agree. 20 Duke versus 18 Louisville. Can Duke get a big win? Oh, these are 2 teams that both played Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think Duke does get a big win coming off the heartbreaker versus Florida State. Duke, this game is a lot closer if their quarterback does not get hurt or is not hurt.
Against Louisville?
No, I'm saying this past game.
Against Florida State. Florida State. I honestly, I think they would have won with Riley Leonard in.
Absolutely.
He's the heart and soul of the team. He's like the team captain. So like when he goes down, you could tell like the defense kind of was letting up, and Jordan Travis kind of took the lead and stuff. But I think Louisville's gonna win. I don't know if Riley Leonard's playing. If Riley Leonard's playing, I'd probably take Duke, but I think Louisville's gonna win. It's at home. I still like Duke, but with the injuries, it kills.
Yeah. Quick pick. So this past week I was 11-6, rough week for me. Aiden was 15-2.
Yeah.
Number 3, Ohio State versus Wisconsin. Ohio State,
but I think it's gonna be a close game. I think this is a recipe for an upset. Night game.
Okay. Way to believe in team, okay? You always say that to me. I think we win by 17. I think it's similar to the Maryland game where we don't start off hot, just close. What?
Yeah, 17 points is a close game. I mean, pretty close.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's going to be super blowout, but we haven't really blown out anybody this year because our offense stinks. Our quarterback stinks. That's actually, let me rephrase that. Our offensive line and quarterback are terrible.
I don't think.
You what?
I don't think McCord's that bad.
I hate him.
Well, it's because
Florida State versus Wake Forest. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have Wake Forest. Like, I am being dead serious with you. I see this upset 10 times out of 10. Wake Forest.
I have Florida State.
I think Wake Forest is just gonna.
Hopefully Florida State gets upsetted and not us.
I agree. I want all the undefeated teams to lose because then we'll make the playoffs if we lose to Michigan. That's my thought process.
Okay.
6 Oklahoma versus Kansas. I mean, if the starting quarterback, if Cash Ballard plays, or Cole Ballard, sorry. I'm going with Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma won that close game against UCF last week. That's why I'm kind of on edge. You know what? I'll take the Rock Chalk Jayhawks.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that's what they were called, but it's sick. Indiana versus number 10 Penn State.
Penn State.
Penn State in a little bit of a close one.
No, not a close one.
Okay, number 1 Georgia versus Florida.
Georgia, close game though. It's Florida-Georgia rivalry, so I think it's gonna be close.
BYU versus number 7 Texas.
Bayou. Texas.
I've got Texas. 8 Oregon versus 13 Utah.
Give me the Ducks.
Give me the Ducks. Quack, quack. Pitt versus 14 Notre Dame. 20 Duke versus 18 Louisville. Duke. Give me the Blue Devils. 22 Tulane versus Rice. Brother Rice. I don't
Tulane,
know.
Brother Tulane, Rice. But I think what?
Is it Brother Rice? No, I think that's a high school near me.
It's just Tulane, but in a closer game. Texas struggled against Rice earlier in the season.
Sure, Tulane in a closer game. 24 USC, almost unranked versus California. USC. 5 Washington versus Stanford. I've got Stanford in this one. I'm joking. I've got Washington in a close one.
Yeah, I've got Washington.
19 Air Force versus Colorado State. Air Force.
I think it could be a little close though.
Stays undefeated. They get the turnovers. And they also are one of 3 teams to not throw an interception. Maybe 2 now. It was Navy, Air Force, and Penn State. Navy and Air Force played, so I don't know if Air Force picked them off. 21 Tennessee versus Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky fan, so give me Kentucky.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go to Kentucky too. It's at home. Kentucky, I think it's an upset.
Vanderbilt. That's the printing error. Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt versus 12 Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Colorado versus 23 UCLA. UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA.
17 North Carolina versus Georgia Tech. Drake May stinks. Give me Drake May in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
One sec. So 2 things. One, I'm pretty sure this is a band. Both of these teams. This is like the guy who signed the Declaration of Independence versus like a band. And I'm pretty sure Old Dominion is also a freight line, like a shipping line. Like they're like the big MLB sponsors. So we're playing a bunch of shipping containers versus Declaration of Independence fellow. Former president, maybe. Yep. He's like the 3rd president of the United States, James Madison.
Yep.
He was an important person. 11 Oregon State versus Arizona.
Wait, did you pick?
Oh, no, I didn't. Give me James Madison.
Yeah, I'll take James Madison.
11 Oregon State versus Arizona. I've got Oregon State, but in a closer one.
I think it'll be close. Arizona's played pretty well against good teams, but yeah, I'll take OSU.
Recap last week. Oh, NFL. Recap last week. Patriots defeat the Bills 29-25. Bill Belichick 300th win. Problems in Buffalo. Josh Allen. I've seen this all over Instagram. Josh Allen's curse is that he plays like the quarterback that he's playing against, and it is very accurate.
Yeah,
he's a good quarterback against good teams and a bad quarterback against bad teams.
The Bills play down to the teams the Bills play down or up to like the teams that they're playing. So if the Bills are playing the Chiefs, they'll play up to the Chiefs. But if they're playing the Patriots, they'll play down to the Patriots level. So they need to be consistent, and they can beat the. I mean, I know the Patriots are. I mean, it's tough to beat Bill Belichick and the defense, and you're in New England. I get that, but you got to be playing better as a QB. You played the Patriots so many times. You should have a little bit of a idea of what is going to happen when going into the game.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, and another. I saw this today on Instagram. If the playoffs started today, the Bills would be the 7th seed.
It's crazy.
In the AFC. I know. They're like usually like fighting for number 1 seed, so they got to pick it up.
They're struggling. Chiefs defeated Chargers 31-17. A rough second half for the Chargers. I didn't watch the game, so this one's all you.
I'll fill you in. So there wasn't actually much going on in the second half, but the first half, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of explosive plays. Like the Chargers had like 2 80-yard plays that would gotten down to like 1st and goal. The Chiefs had like a 50-yard passing touchdown. A lot of explosive plays. It was 24-17 at half. And the Chiefs only put up 1 touchdown, and the Chargers didn't do anything. So defense is locked up in the second half. They didn't let up the explosive plays, but no one could do, or neither team could do much in the second half. And I think the Chargers kind of were feeding off of those explosive plays offensively, and they couldn't get anything going in the second half. That's why I think they kind of died out. The Chiefs put together 1 good drive, and it was like that was kind of like the dagger to end the game. But
yeah. Eagles defeat Dolphins 31-17. Are the Dolphins overrated? No, they played one of the best teams in the NFL. So
I think they are. They lost to Buffalo. They got killed by Buffalo, and they lost to Eagles. I get the Eagles are a good team, but the Dolphins are killing all these opponents that are terrible, and then they get to the big games and they can't win.
It's true.
And we just talked about the Bills, that they are not as great as we thought they would have been. I think the Dolphins have got to win one big game, and I haven't looked at their schedule, but if they can win a big game coming up, I'll buy into that they're actually good.
Yeah. Games of the week: Jags versus Steelers. Can Pittsburgh stop Trevor Lawrence? No.
Yeah. I think they can.
I think I don't know. It's a mid-off. I don't think either teams are good. I think it'll be close.
You don't think both teams are in the playoffs right now. If they start today, the Steelers are good. Jaguars are in first place in our division.
They both stink. Trevor Lawrence is gonna win.
I think the Steelers. I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna get sacked a couple times.
Great take. Browns versus Seahawks. Does Cleveland get another win? Yes.
No.
Seahawks are terrible. Geno Smith is old. Comeback player of the year is over. That was last season.
I guess Seahawks are gonna win. Okay, I don't even want to talk about the Browns because they got handed the game against the Colts.
The Browns
decided the game.
Really good.
I know, and they let up 38 points against Gardner Minshew. That's a bit of a problem.
Okay, moving on.
Gardner Minshew would hit the shimmy every time he scored a touchdown.
It's true. Bengals versus 49ers. Can Cincy get a signature win? Yes, they can. Brock Purdy is not him. Okay, there's a reason he was Mr. Last Pick.
Okay, that's interesting that you said that. Finally, you decided that Brock Purdy's not him.
I'm joking. It's because he doesn't have Deebo Samuel and yeah.
That's it.
And Nick Bosa didn't get 3 sacks that game, so they lost.
I think the Bengals will win. Because the 49ers have been on a little streak.
Losing streak.
Yeah, losing streak, yeah. They lost to Cleveland on Jake Moody missed the field goal. He's from the Wolverines, by the way, so that's probably why I missed it.
Yeah, he stinks. He's missed a bunch of field goals.
And then they lost to the Vikings. Brock Purdy made some bad decisions. Like he would throw it into like double coverage. He wasn't read the defense well. So I think the Bengals will get a win. I think Joe Burrow will play well.
Yep. Quick pick: Buccaneers versus Bills. Bills.
Yeah, Bills. I think they bounce back.
Rams, Cowboys. Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll take Cowboys.
Saints, Colts. Colts.
Yeah, I'll go Colts.
Vikings, Packers.
I'll go Vikings.
Packers. Okay. Falcons, Titans. Falcons,
yeah.
Patriots, Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins.
Jets, Giants. Mid-off, Jets.
Yeah, I'll go Jets. They're playing in New York? Both teams in New York?
Yeah. Jags versus Steelers.
Steelers.
Jags. Eagles versus Commanders.
Philly.
Texans versus Panthers. Texans. CJ
Two rookie quarterbacks playing against each other. I'm going to take Houston
though. Browns versus Seahawks. Browns.
Seattle.
Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs.
That's going to be a blowout. Yeah, Chiefs are going to kill them.
Yeah. Ravens, Cardinals. Ravens. Bengals, Niners. Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals.
Bears, Chargers. Bears.
I'm going to take the Chargers. Is Fields playing this week?
I don't. If not, then Bears.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Raiders, Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
Final topic, NBA. The season starts today. Who do you have winning these games? Lakers, Nuggets. I have the Lakers. LeBron's the GOAT.
Well, the game already ended.
We weren't supposed to say that. That's going to be our big topic. Okay, I got the Nuggets. Then I changed my mind. Now that you said that.
I'll take the Nuggets.
Okay, good talk. Suns, Warriors. I got the Suns. Devin Booker's him.
I'm gonna take the.
You know
I'm
that.
gonna take the. I'm gonna take the Warriors. I think Steph Curry's gonna make some big shots.
I got a new teacher midway through this year. He's a huge Steph Curry fan, so I'm gonna talk some trash about my favorite team, the Suns, when Steph Curry goes down. All right.
Did he ask? Did he ask why you're a Suns fan?
I haven't told him that yet. No, he thinks I'm a Bulls fan. I'll just play it off like I'm a Bulls fan until I want to expose my real identity.
You'll be like, oh yeah, I was born in Arizona, so I'm a diehard Suns fan.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys on episode 42. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night and week. See ya.
Bye.
I cut off my day ones for the win. I just put up in that black made bet you can't see in. Up got plenty of racks, I keep that strap with one cocked in. Not even close to family.